We're here on the Scrap Table Podcast, and I'm here with Oz and Jess from the Wizard Forge. I'll let you guys give a little background too, but for people who don't know, the Wizard Forge makes really fun adult knife. I say adult toys. That sounds dirty. But no,
yeah, you have to be 18 and up still. So
yeah, knives and axes and a lot of cool stuff, really.
yeah, we actually not to just show right away, but I've been dying to show you because I know you like the larger adult toys. So it's that kind of podcast now.
Hey, this is what those TikTok clips are made of right here.
Yeah, we can get into that later though. But yeah, we make handmade knives here in Charleston, South Carolina. We're outside of Somerville actually. We started full time making knives the same day Sean quit his job. We quit our jobs the same day, so that's where our bond comes in, and we've been building our stuff side by side ever since that. But how long has it been?
We started as like a hobby in November of 2020. We moved back to Charleston from Seattle then because of COVID and everything else. And we moved in with his parents, and we were just doing it for fun, like I said. And he had a job at the bike shop. I was working in logistics. I worked from home. And we had already started going to markets and things. And I lost my job, worked at the bike shop with him for about 6 months, and it just became very much not fun. Like, it was retail during COVID.
Yeah.
So I think everybody kind of knows how that is.
Yeah.
We eventually kind of hit a breaking point where it was like they didn't want us there and we didn't want to be there. So we lost our jobs essentially, and just went head first into doing the knives because, like I said, we'd already been doing markets. We had been to Blade Show before. So we just kept selling, and we're just...
Yeah, and I think that's what's so cool about our story and our paths is we 100% did not know each other.
Yeah.
When we, like, at the same time we quit our jobs.
I think we met each other once before.
Yeah, was it
twice.
John that introduced us?
Yeah.
John from Francis Manufacturing and Defense.
Yeah.
And we worked out a deal, and I was trying to build my portfolio. And, man, I got a cool knife out of it and a really awesome video. I still show y'all's video as a lot of my promo stuff for what I can do.
First page of our website. It's right there.
And I think it's really cool because we got to talking, and it was like we had the same journey of just almost not really burnout, but kind of just this is a different career path. Like my situation, I did the same thing for 10 years, and it just was. Yeah, my best friend Jordan Costello has been begging me to quit my job for literally like 13 since right when my daughter was like 13 years to pursue this. So, I think it was almost 3 years ago now, close to 3 years. It was the right time.
Yeah.
And I think it was so cool. You guys have kind of been like a model influence to me. And we just discussed this a little off camera. It's like, it was cool to have our friendship because we would text back and forth a little bit about just proud of you. And I don't want to say attaboys, but it's really cool to have someone relatable. Having someone
not just friends, but business friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one thing that was brought up with when we first met is like with me, you, and John, we all three were kind of businesses, and it was like we all passed the same $500. It's like that was the term John said. It was like you would pay me, and I would pay John, and then John would pay you. But it was like that support system among entrepreneurs was really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, with mentioning John, it's just like he got us, started too with the whole community we're in now, where we kind of brush with the tactical community and not just the knife community. So that's exactly. It's all pushing each other up, and like I said, your first video right on our website. Excited to make a new one in the new shop now that it's actually going to be like. It's going to be much cooler.
Yeah, I think I've seen some new photos, right? The new, or on Instagram with y'all's photos.
Just a little of like background shots and whatnot, but
yeah, we got to get the cameras in there and get some. I want to get you guys talking more on camera. I think that's what I'm excited about this podcast is you guys. We joked about getting a YouTube channel. Y'all are so down to earth and just kind, interesting people, and like I don't think people realize like you guys are really fighting as entrepreneurs. Like,
oh my gosh,
you guys really have committed 100% of your life to this business, and I think it was committed before you even quit your jobs.
Can we turn off the camera so I can cry?
Yeah. But I think it was cool when I first met you guys. You guys were even working out of a garage with your family, and even your dad was kind of into the knives, and I was like, man, these are I hate this cliche term. This is American made. Like, this is like the most American shit I've ever seen in my life.
No, I appreciate that. That's what we try to go for. We try to source it all as American as we
Yep.
can, and like some of it I think has to come like certain exotic woods and whatnot. But it's like we always joke at the markets that we go to when we're talking to people. It's like we do everything but the hardware.
Yeah.
And that we try to do that, and that's why it costs more. But it's like that's why you pay more.
And I think going back a little bit with John and you guys, I think with our community, we're all three in kind of different worlds, but the giving sense, you guys even introduced the guy who does the hot sauces.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know if he does it anymore. I think it's Gar Sauce.
Yeah, Gar Sauce. But like you guys are, it's such a unique entrepreneur community from the markets and things of just people giving. And like I said, I was buying stuff from him, and I met him through you guys, and I met you guys through John. And I think that's one of the circles here on this podcast is being humble, checking egos, kindness.
Absolutely. And every single day I've got 3 or 4 friends with me right now of collaborative, work or just buying their merch and their shirts. It's just pass the same $500 around.
Dude, I tried to wear y'all's purple Wizard Forge shirts, but I've been working out, so like I was about to like rip out of that thing.
Not to plug, but we're about to drop new shirts on the website, so
okay, I'll keep an eye out. So what have you guys kind of been up to this last year? I know you guys have gone through like a big move and a revamp of the business.
Big move, yeah. So the property we're on now has never been lived on, so we're moving in with the brother-in-laws on their property. We've got our camper and a big barn and a little workshop for all the dirty stuff. We're at the end of the driveway though, so it's a little muddy. We almost didn't get here today because of all the rain yesterday. Literally start the car and just put it to the floor and let traction control all of
Just
that
send
until
it.
I got
Yeah.
out. And
We were trapped like The Shining, basically, from like Christmas to New Year's and onward even.
Yeah.
Maybe like a month.
Are you guys prepared for the snow?
It's not gonna. I mean, the snow turns to it snows. It
Every
melts,
time they
it
tell
turns
us it's
to
going to
ice, and then
snow,
turns
it
to
gets
mud.
hotter and then it just rains.
Yeah.
I feel like they caught us off guard like last week because they said there's gonna be snow and then nothing came, so no one cares.
Oh, it sleeted by us. It was hailing.
Oh, really? Oh, we didn't get nothing. It didn't even rain. I feel like next week's gonna be the one that gets us. You threw us all off.
Sorry.
But yeah, so that's cool. I like to say the American made thing. You guys like are modern cowboys, like homesteading. Like I think
but it's all because of the stepbrothers. They're just letting us hang out on the farm. It makes us look cooler than we are. But the most we do is make sure the pigs have water and make sure no one's dead. That's pretty much it.
That's a good thing to look out for. No dead people means no paperwork, no police.
Every once in a while, though, I'll get scared because animal control will just show up and be like, "We got this animal and we don't know what to do with it. Y'all want to take care of it?" And 90% of the time, it's like, "Yep." So
Do they take rescues there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, they
You got
also
a peacock.
find things.
You saw the peacock, right? You've seen the peacock before.
I don't know. Maybe.
It was on the other farm.
Yeah, probably then.
Yeah, so he came with a broken wing and he's all healed up with a full set of feathers and everything. And he just got a neighbor turkey, and that turkey looks like, oh my God. You know how like there's those dogs that are always like buff?
Oh, yeah.
This is the turkey equivalent. This turkey could go toe to toe with like a kangaroo.
like
He's so
Godzilla.
big. Yeah, it's terrifying.
My buddy Trevor growing up had a turkey, man. We always called him like Turkey Lurkey, but he was like the meanest animal I've ever seen, and just violent and dumb.
I believe it looking at this guy because
Yeah.
it's like there's turkeys on the farm, like wild turkeys, right? And maybe this turkey will kind of lure him in, but they're tiny. They look like little chickens.
Yeah, but he's built.
Yeah, this guy
He's
looks
huge,
like
yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger got eaten by a bodybuilder.
He's like the size of one of those lights.
Yeah, exactly. He's huge. I have like 30 people at Thanksgiving.
So do you guys have any new model knives or anything coming out, or did you bring any?
I don't have any new model knives, but part of like our not doing customs anymore is to bring 3 new knives forward that we already have the water jet order in. So we're going to get a whole bunch of blanks in to get started. After Blade Show Texas, we've got our normal models going to Blade Show Texas so that when we prepare for Blade Show Atlanta, we can take these 3 new models. And that's our hope, is to get the Gnome, the American Samurai, and what's the other one?
I don't know if it's I don't want to say. I mean, Push Dagger, anything like that. I don't know.
I can't remember the third one. It's going to be a surprise for everyone, even me.
What's it like traveling all the way to? Do y'all fly? Or like, what's it like traveling with all these knives?
That's our first. This is gonna be our first time flying with the knives because Blade Show Atlanta just hop in the van.
Bro,
drive
TSA
down
is gonna
there.
drop kick you in the face.
So I'm gonna bring. I've been told that the insider trade is bring a gun. Fly with it because then the gun's more important than the knives, and they won't lose your shit.
You put the gun in the knife case,
Yeah.
and then
So
check it.
check it in. Because
That sounds like
obviously
a
I can't
terrible idea. Who told you?
I mean,
I
They
almost said-
care.
they care more about.
Yeah,
I
Don't
could tell
worry about
them-
the knives.
I
This
could tell
guy's
them
got
I
a
got
gun on the
couple
plane.
Exactly.
they're
Not
gonna
carry
make
on.
sure
It's
that
gonna
you're
be
the
checked
first to
in,
get it.
but-
Yeah,
you know.
check it.
Yeah,
And then a little bit of extra security, basically.
I would talk to
We
multiple
hope.
people, and that sounds like really bad
I really
advice.
wanted to drive, but he wants to fly, and it's like 2 hours versus
The
like
van's
18
getting
hours.
old.
Where in Texas is
She's
it?
So-
getting old.
Fort Worth, Dallas.
Fort Worth? Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You guys do a lot of trade shows. That one's in March, which this might air right around that time. Anyways, y'all do a lot of different trade shows, correct?
Well, yeah, we try to do as many as we can.
The Gathering is going to be right after Blade Show Texas. That's like the end of March. That's with Palmetto State Armory.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to have Blade Show Atlanta in the first weekend of June.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything in the.
After that, it's just
Yeah.
Naughty After Dark in November, but we'll have more.
Yeah, we try.
We'll get more scheduled.
We get
at the
emails
time.
all the time where we try, but like with another part of not doing, we're gonna harp on this, not doing customs is I'm able to do 100 knives at a time instead of maybe 20. So with these shows, go see more people, shake more hands.
Yeah.
That's what we like to do. You know us, we probably met half of our followers on our Instagram.
In the contest to the audience watching, I don't think a lot of people realize it's you two. Like it is, I have seen it firsthand. You will be cutting a blade while she's putting the handles on. Like it is a 24-hour, 8 days a week routine. It's the two of y'all. And I think that's really cool how personal your knives are. Like I know you said you're getting away from custom knives to be able to grow more, but I don't think they're still custom knives.
Right. They're
Yeah.
still going to be special and like handmade.
Handmade.
I'll know what
One of
year
a
your
kind.
knife was
One.
made when I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
and I
I've
think
stared at it a lot.
to touch base on that, like I've seen it firsthand, like from when you guys first started to when we shot that video to when I came over there for my own project. You guys make really special knives. Like these aren't your Walmart pocket knives. Like these are amazing.
Well, I
I've
feel like
gifted
it's been a
few.
while since I've seen you, so I can't wait to get you in the shop so you can be blown away again because I think you're going to be
Dude,
very
every
excited.
time.
Yeah, for sure.
What's funny is I remember when you guys first posted like the dagger or something, or I
Yeah.
sent you a picture of like, can you make something like this? And you're like, oh, I'm already working on something like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what am I gotta like close my pocketbook up here. Like, yeah, you guys make some incredible, just, I don't want to say stuff because you guys.
No, it is stuff.
You guys,
because we
I
do
have one of y'all guys'
leashes.
dog leashes.
Yeah.
I use it for my dog.
The fanny packs from Head On Tactical.
I have one
got-
literally. I have one of your packs in my room right now, holding my wireless transmitters.
Heck yeah. Yeah. It just, anything that we can do to work with anybody, and stuff is totally what we make. That's why it's the Wizard Forge, not Oz's Knives, because it is me and Jess, like you said, and I appreciate that because Jessica's been running around the shop screaming, "It's just the two of us, please,"
Yeah.
because we gotta.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, we were sick and trapped on our property from like Christmas to New Year's, and people were blowing us up. And I'm like, it's Christmas to New Year's.
The day after
anyways.
Christmas.
We shouldn't be working regardless.
Yeah.
So it's just the two of us. Like a lot of people, I think the online presence just makes people think that it's like a corporation or something, or it's a bigger business than it is. And
We talked about this earlier with John because he too is kind of in the same realm, I would say. People are so quick to burn down a small business on social media, but if I said Taco Bell or if a restaurant messes up your order, you'll be back there next week.
Yeah.
true.
And
Yeah.
I think
You see a roach at Burger King, you get your order and leave, and then you come back next week.
but it's like
Yeah.
the person with 2 people, 500 orders that everyone wants the week before Christmas is, your mom and pop shops are really torn down. And with us kind of representing entrepreneurs, like we're not just a film podcast, we do entrepreneurs as well. I want to contest to I wanted this to show y'all's character.
Well, I appreciate that.
I remember, dude, I've seen y'all's orders. Like I've gone over there and you're like, yeah, we're not that busy. And it'd be like a stack. And I'm like, I'm looking at this is manual labor. Like this is grinding, cutting, like your hands till your hands bleed
Yeah.
and burning yourself on the wax, or not the wax, the press, and
Yeah.
I mean, I watched your
And
dad.
now we got to dig a trench to get there to make sure the water doesn't flood the shop.
Yeah, now you
and
just got to
gas up the
survive to
generator.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
a
like I appreciate that a lot. It's definitely.
I wanted to
nice
touch
to
on
hear.
this too because I feel like I keep referencing John. He literally was just in here. You guys are kind of got brought into that drop culture world, and we talked heavily on his podcast about it. And I think it's so cool because I think for me it was new. I didn't understand it. I knew about it in the fashion world. I knew about it in clothing, but when you see these designer rifles, you see designer pistols, designer knives. That's what I kind of they're boutique. Like you're a knife boutique.
Yeah.
These aren't your run of the mill knives. That drop culture kind of propelled you guys a lot. Like when you guys got teamed up with some of these larger
Absolutely.
fanboy
Definitely.
companies,
Yeah.
like not to be rude, but
Collaborations are not only fun and enjoyable, but they are very beneficial for the business. I have everything I brought with me is a collaboration, actually.
and I think that's where the word forge works because it's everyone coming together, and you're saying it's not just you and Jess.
Yeah.
Even though I'm over here to contest, like you guys are really putting in a ton of work as y'all too, but like you said, it's collaboration.
That's where the real magic is. It's it's being able to work with people. Because like, you can't work with everybody. Like there's a lot of people you just.
And I've seen it. Like we firsthand stories off air of people literally making almost 400 grand in 60 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Like
absolutely.
it's a real world thing. And it's a business and entrepreneurship that I don't think people get. And I think a lot of it is.
That'd be nice. I haven't done that.
Yeah,
We've never had a drop sell
We've
out.
never
but
sold out. Probably the purple patches that we did with Stitchlinger was like the closest thing.
50 patches.
But when you see these drops and collaborations, it's such a lift me up thing. Like normally it's like one company that's a little bit lower than the other and they attach their name to it and it propels. Like it'll take, like you can take.
Well, even Instagram likes it more. If you do a collaboration post,
Yeah, it helps the algorithm.
you're twice as, I was told that it's basically a good way to look at it is 10% of your followers are shown your post. If 10% like it, they're going to show the next 10%.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, now you only need 5%.
Yeah.
You only need 5% of each. And it gets all of our biggest posts, for the most part, are collaboration posts and get us the most, interaction and intermingling. And that's really what the battle is on the line, is to get that intermingling. A follow is not a sale, but if Joe Schmo sees his friend follows us and he follows us and then he likes our stuff, he's more likely to, maybe message us, follow along, and see if he wants something. And kind of like you're saying, like our showing our character is kind of our battle right now, because our knife is not better than another knife. It's a great knife versus a great knife. So you're going to buy it for the small business purpose. Now we have to fight the other small businesses in a sense to be, I guess, kinder. And that's our real goal, is to just be as nice to everybody as possible.
And like with my business, I specialize in doing commercial work. And one of the things we say in marketing and commercial is like putting a face in front of a franchise. People aren't buying your knife because it's the best knife. A lot of y'all's major customers, once you get outside of friends and family, because that's how you grow, you start organic. But outside of that, they've seen your videos of your live giveaways. They've seen your lifestyle because they're relating. And a lot of big companies, that's number one to marketing, is putting a face in front of a franchise. People want to know you, the person they're supporting. Are you good people? Like, and I think that's what's really cool about y'all's business is like I said, y'all are like modern homesteaders, for one. Then two, you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at least, to run the business. And you're like,
in a way, yeah.
And you're like me. This is your primary income. Like, if you don't get up and go out and grind these knives in 30-degree weather, you're going to die. Like, you have no money.
Yeah, exactly.
And
there have been many weeks of just ramen.
And I think for me to say, for like most entrepreneurs, if you put yourself in a sink or swim situation, you'll find out really quick if you should just work for someone else for the rest of your life, or if you should be an entrepreneur. You may fail over and over. I mean, we've failed. I mean, I know you've moved shops. I have failed. I mean, I've picked up side gigs. I've done all kinds of stuff to keep my head underwater, or from drowning. But for most entrepreneurs, if you just jump in, I'm not saying this is not financial advice. Do not quit your job tomorrow. But I'm saying if you jump in and do it, you'll see what you're made of.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of friends who have talked to us for a long period of time about just I'm going to start my business. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to start my business. And I haven't talked to this guy in a while, and I'm kind of sad about it because last time we spoke, he was telling me how he's going to finally start his business. And I was like, hey, man, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You keep saying this, you got to do it. And I just was real with him, and still hasn't started his business. And I'm just like, just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you fail or not. Just do it.
It's easier said than done, though.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
I mean, if you do fail, it's like.
Even now, sometimes I question myself. I'm like, why did I do this? Like, there's months on end. Like, I mean, December's hard months. I'm not in retail, so December, it's like sink or swim sometimes for my business, and it's like
everyone's too busy to worry about making another commercial.
Exactly, or social media stuff, and I question that myself. But it's like, this is what you signed up for, and man, I'll take this over what I had any day of the week.
And not woe is me, but it's like we got sick. And then missed our Christmas drop. So we didn't push any of our like stuff out for December. So we're just sitting on it right now, but it's like, oh man. And it definitely feels like a sink moment, but mostly because it's flooded in the farm. But it's just like, it's definitely something to like.
I think the hardest part for me for being like an entrepreneur was like, I had no one to blame but myself. Like, it's like, oh, your editing's not done. It's like, well, that's because you didn't do it. Oh, you didn't. And
beating yourself up doesn't make it easier to do it.
Yeah, and it's really hard to take that much accountability, and you realize how lazy you were on something. And
like, I was talking to him yesterday. Like, I've started weightlifting recently, and I've been following like a lot of fitness pages, and a lot of the people talk about how when you have a bad day, like you didn't go to the gym, you didn't eat right, whatever. You can't just give up because like it wouldn't make sense to just be like, well, screw it, I'm just gonna ruin my life. So like with the business, it's like when I have a bad day or a bad market, or like we don't meet a deadline, or we have to just a bad back and forth with a customer, it's like you just have to like be willing to keep doing it over and over again, and like every day wake up and be like, I'm just gonna be better. Like, it's okay. It happened and now it's over.
That's me. I started working out heavily 3 to 5 times a week in January of last year. So I just hit the 1 year mark. And I hate it. Dude, it's like 10 months in, I still hated going to the gym. But it was, for me, it was just discipline. Yeah. It's like, all right, I know I got to get up and I know I got to do this. And that instillment of just doing it, it improved my like home skills, my life skills,
it makes it easier
my business.
Do everything.
And it's just discipline. And I think that's why you see a lot of success stories of famous people and big time business owners. They all get up at the crack of dawn and go work out. And it's not that they want to be fit and buff. It's just their health is prioritized. They can think clearly.
It's not just your body you're working
They don't do
out.
it perfectly every single day.
No.
Like, they have off days too. It's just you don't give up. Like, not giving up is success. Yeah. And that's it. Like, that's the only difference between failure and success, is just to keep going.
And it's like with the small businesses, there's no cheat code. There's no I'm making $300,000 or $400,000 in 60 seconds. That's not a real thing. Those steps to get there were $10 lost day, $20 lost day, $50 gain day,
and some of
$100
those companies
lost day.
making those still aren't making any money off of that money.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Like they're
paying off
old debt to grow there, and it's like.
But that's another thing too. I think with your business and my business and a few other people, is I've watched you guys literally, like, if it was a video game, I've watched you guys make $1 million in this game and then trying to sink $750,000 right into upgrading to make better knives.
Yeah.
And that seems to be like a repeat thing with a lot of upcoming and smaller businesses. It's that sacrifice. Like, I'm sure you guys, I don't know, hypothetically, put more money into your business last year than you did into savings.
Yes.
We put more money into our business.
By many multiples.
We put all of our savings into
the business. That's what I did. And I think
we were going to buy a house, and my dad told me that I could stay at his place. Yeah. We had the down payment for a house to move in, be fine, and everything. And in hindsight, probably should have done that instead, because then I could have just run the business out of my house, and that would have been easier. But we put everything into this to start this up, to get the machines, to get all the material, and it's like we paid what we put into it off, and are still in more debt than we put into it.
Yeah, and I don't think.
It's just, we want it to be the best. We want it to grow, and we see the potential. And we bought this building that we're working out of. We built it all out. We set up it's still in progress. But it's just putting literally live, sleep, eat, and breathe the Wizard Forge right now. My friends make fun of me because when we're making funny names to make our gamer accounts on Hell Let Loose, and I can't think of anything that isn't Wizard because I'm just like,
It's your lifestyle.
yeah,
now.
exactly. We want it to be not all for nothing, so we're gonna give it our all.
Yeah, and I feel like with your business and everything else, like if you don't keep growing, you'll die. It's like if you don't keep trying to figure out how to be better, innovate, someone else is going to come along and do it better.
Well, we also, both of us in our previous jobs, we grew the companies we were working at by like millions.
Oh,
Like,
okay. So you'll kind of have a background in that business field of...
Well, like,
we worked very hard in our positions to be the best we possibly could, and that's one of the reasons we were motivated
feel like
to do it.
At the time, while we were at those jobs still and just making knives as a hobby, we were like, if we just put our all into this, we could probably multiply, just the same way that we did for our other bosses. Like, why am I making money for somebody else if I could just do this for
exactly
myself?
That feeling. Outside of the Wizard Forge, I know that's like your guys' whole life. What do y'all do for fun? Do you have other hobbies?
He plays video games.
I play video games with the homies a good bit and just talk. We sit in the deer stand a lot. We just like to be out in nature for the most part. That's like the hobby is to
y'all spend a lot of time
camping and
in Seattle backpacking and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I would do
like
bike
we'd camp.
packing, so I'd load up my bike and ride 700 miles in a couple of days, and
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
it was great, dude. It was awesome.
How did you guys like Seattle?
It was
We loved
crazy. It was great outdoors.
It was great before COVID happened, basically.
Yeah.
So
We were close enough that like when they were all chanting in downtown, we could hear it from the house. So
Did you guys chime in any?
I mean, the neighbor's car caught on fire, so we watched that. Like someone threw a firebomb at it.
we live next to a Super 6 motel or whatever. What is that called? Hotel 6? Motel
8?
6.
Motel, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them.
So that was where that happened.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. It got real wild there. A homeless man pulled a knife on me while I was riding my bike to work. During the, because they were pushed out from the riots. They didn't want to sleep downtown while they're screaming and throwing tear gas.
That was what, 2020?
2020, yeah.
Yeah, they like locked the whole city, like just locked everyone in the city, and it was like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Anarchy,
Yeah.
drugs are legal, violence is legal. When you guys are done, let us know.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. It was a pretty good time. We left
That
because of that.
must have been scary.
It was awful. We got our van broken into.
Oh, yeah, that was awful.
So we packed up and came home, and
Y'all are originally from the Charleston area?
Yeah.
she is. I moved around all over the place, but I mean mostly just outdoors camping. We just lost our pup, so it was Jessica's first dog, and she knew she loved our dog, but
yeah, I
now she
saw
realized that she really, really loves dogs. So dogs are becoming a big hobby.
We visit the animals on the farm all the time.
Yeah.
Like we visit the pigs every day and the cows, and we like take the dogs on walks because they have like hunting dogs and stuff.
Yeah, so
I feel like that's good. I feel like a lot of people lose that connection to nature.
yeah.
Like, I feel like it kind of makes us human. That's like one of the things that, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I guess kindness again, to double back on that, but it's just like,
For as long as people have been alive, they have sat around at night around a campfire just staring at it with nothing to do. There's something like genetic about looking at a campfire. We all make the same.
it's like primitive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It takes you back. So it's like sometimes you just need to go stare at a fire in the middle of the woods.
Ironically, like, not to make this about me, but Ashleigh can contest my thing that I like to do. I go outside and light up my grill and cook.
Yeah.
I'm outside.
Yeah.
Let my kids sometimes come outside and play, or Ashley's sitting outside, or if it's just me, I could sit outside out back and just grill for hours. And I feel like it's like no cell phone. Maybe sometimes I'll throw music on, but barefoot, flip flops, whatever.
When you're done with that session, you look at your phone. You got a bunch of notifications.
Exactly. It's like a disconnect. It's like just turn
yeah.
it off, because even like you said, as a business owner, it's nonstop. And I think it's those
nonstop.
primitive things that like. It's a
We're not meant to
decompression.
do that.
Yeah.
We're not meant to be stressed about a little phone in our pocket 24/7. We're meant to find food for the day and then build a fire and sit there the rest of the night. It's like,
Yeah, now, present day when we're recording this, the TikTok went down.
yeah, oh, yep.
So I don't know if you guys are really big on TikTok.
Oh, she's upset.
I mean, I used it personally, but we didn't use it for our business.
Dude, me too. I love watching people build houses on TikTok with sticks and stones.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Look what they've taken from us.
a lot of my friends are like influencers and stuff on there. Dude, that's their whole life. Like that's their careers.
Yeah.
I honestly think it might only be down for like 2 days or something. I feel like Trump's going to bring it back, but I'm not trying to get into like conspiracy
Politics,
theories or anything. But
well, thanks to TikTok, I have a lot of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it weird that, like you said, we're so dependent on social media and our phones and just that disconnect. I'm jealous you guys get to live more primitive. Like, I think the backpacking
come out
thing's
for a couple
amazing.
days. You
it
may
comes
not.
with its drawbacks.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
It's fun though, man. Like my mom and stepfather, they just sold their house in Texas and bought a really nice RV and moved. They're here in South Carolina now. And
that's the dream.
Dude,
to buy a really nice RV.
yeah, and it's awesome.
we have
Like,
an okay camper.
I'm sorry, I want my own RV, but I want a small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need anything.
Like a little Winnebago.
I like
I just like saying
something like the
Winnebago.
Coleman 22B, little bunk beds for the kid.
Yeah.
Enough a kitchen.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you use an RV, to
Are you
travel,
watching the
That's
camper
kind of the size of
TikToks?
ours, to be honest.
dude, I'm
We-
obsessed with them. I'm
I knew it.
obsessed
I've
with
seen
them.
them too. Once we got a camper, it was
Here's
like,
my
hitting
thing:
us
is
with
my
targeted
mentality
ads.
is if I can modify it, if I can make it better, and if I can customize it, I'm gonna be 100% in.
That's how I get in
Yeah.
trouble.
Cars, guns, knives,
That's-
everything.
yeah.
Like it's obsession. It's like, how can I get that and make that better?
You can buy ours in a few years, hopefully.
Don't say that. Don't say that. I already have way too many more
It'll be
expensive
cheap.
hobbies.
It'll be way cheaper.
I want something small. What I was saying is I want something small though, because when I go camping, I want to be outside. I probably won't
Yeah,
spend any
that's
time.
the
I need a
point.
shower and a toilet. Like
Once we have a house, we've actually talked about getting something that our little Transit Connect can pull, because it's like, just get something that's a bed
A teardrop camper.
dude, the teardrop. Yeah,
That'd be
that's what I
perfect.
want. I want
little
something like
sink
that.
out the back.
Yeah.
Whenever I travel for film to like Savannah and Atlanta and stuff, and Charlotte and Wilmington, and I've always thought about, I was like, man, if I just had like a pull behind and just take that per diem money and
Yeah.
pocket it and just go stay at an RV site,
I would definitely
Yeah,
drive
when
to
it's
Blade
not too
Show,
hot.
Texas, if I had a little camper. I would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna
just pull over at the rest stop and
yeah, exactly. Call the hotel, like, can I just rent?
Then you don't have to worry about your car and your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So what other? You said you just like to be outside in nature and.
I mean, we shoot, we hunt, we.
Play with the animals. I was scrolling a lot
Yeah,
of TikTok
oof.
recently because it
It's
was
been a-
getting taken away.
Just mostly work,
Going to
honestly.
markets,
It's like,
yeah, we like center our vacations around going to markets and stuff. Like if we have a market or we have a Blade show, we'll be like, okay, let's do this thing too that same week.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's what right before the lights went down. That's what I wanted to talk about. Do you feel like your business is split almost 50-50 from drops in market, or you feel like the markets benefit y'all's business more because it's so personal? Because you said you wanted more time to be with people and talk.
It's not black and white like that, because we have knives at Allied Arms. We have knives on Palmetto State Armory's website.
Mm-hmm.
We have knives in other stores around town. So then we go to the gun show,
yeah.
and this person who's like, your knives are here. I've seen you here as well. Who are you? That's really what it is. It's more.
It's a presence.
It's
so people
exactly.
trust your brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then once they hear our story and have known of us before, it's like they get excited, and that gets us really excited.
There's also a lot of people who meet us at a market and they don't buy it and then they regret it and order it online later.
Yeah, and I've
Yep.
seen you guys at a local market before. The one, I don't want to say how close we live, but the last time I saw you guys at a market, it was cool watching strangers come up. And like you said, you're so personable. And for someone who you guys don't really jump on social media and talk to everyone all the time. I know you do the lives, but to see people walk up, no one's ever like, these are too expensive. They never really.
Maybe not in front of you.
Not in front of me, but-
yeah.
But it's cool because I feel like people see it and they get to talk to you, and your story and what goes into these knives is so cool.
Most people understand. Even if it's out of their budget, most people understand what goes into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I still think they don't.
yeah.
No, they say they do.
appreciate
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? I think your
They
turn
know it
time-
costs a lot because they don't understand, and they know they
Right.
don't understand, but they
Yeah.
say
When we
they
shot
do.
that first video for you guys, I think it was taking you guys like 20 hours per knife.
Yeah, it was
Basically.
for like
For one knife from start to finish was like 20 hours worth of work.
Yep.
Do you,
I mean,
it almost feels like you're losing money.
yeah, it does. It definitely does. I mean,
More
I've
than
got
it feels like,
I've got like 3 months to do 150 now. So we brought that time down, got more efficient,
That's
new
good.
practices, but it's like I can only do 150. Again, going to harp on it because we're not doing customs. I'm doing all 60 of these. I'm doing all 60 of these, and then I'm doing the 35 of these.
I kind of wanted to say that too with you asking about like drop culture and stuff. Like we were doing literally one of one. Like this knife this handle gets this kydex and this one gets this one. But now we're trying to do like 5 of these, 5 of these, 5 of these. So we haven't really. It's hard to kind of say because we haven't really participated in drop culture the same way that like other tactical brands do, if that makes sense, because it's like literally one of one and it's such a high value product.
Because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in drop culture.
Yeah, it's a limited run. Normally it's a...
Sold out is a post anybody can post at any time for any reason. It doesn't mean it's sold out. It means they weren't doing good sales. They realized it. They put sold out, and then they're like, okay, we have a second drop coming to sell leftovers with fake hype.
It's hype. And I don't want to expose drop culture because I have people who exist in it. But you're right. Even in...
There's honest drop culture. You could actually have real hype. And that's what we're generating. Because people know now that we have one of one. So when we drop 3 of one, well... They've known for the past 3 years. We've created a following. Those 3 knives sell just as fast as that one before did, and everyone knows it. So if you miss it out, it's gone for good.
But I've also seen companies that I don't know them personally. I just know people through them would post the drop and only have 10 items, and they post sold out, and then they do that like for 6 straight months, once a month. It's T-shirts. It's a shirt clothing company, and then. What that does is maybe there's 50 people watching the first time, 100 watching the next time, 120, and all of them were like, dang, this sold out in a minute. This sold out in 5 minutes.
It's the cheap version of having your knives in multiple stores around town and then seeing them in person.
It mentally tricks their audience into thinking, I got to get in on this. I get in on this. And by the time they come to that 6-month mark, they drop 200 of them and sell 200.
Yep.
It's like they didn't really take a loss. It was all a marketing strategy. And a lot of big brand clothing companies do it. And, like I said, I only mentioned drop culture because to me it was new watching like John and Francis Manufacturing Defense get into it, and it put me on to other companies like Room Temps, Superior Defense, and Dumpster Defense, and all.
They don't have to fake hype. I mean,
those guys all have a huge following. Those guys are, I mean, they're good people too. That's one thing we talked about too. Is like that community, that firearm community, is such a. None of them know me. They probably don't even know I even talk about them, but knowing of them through people who know them,
John knows you.
Who?
John knows you.
Oh yeah. But John is a low. Like we talk, he's a big dog here, but again, in that community,
being a big dog is in the heart.
Yeah, he's gonna appreciate that. I'm gonna just dub that into his. I think you're right. Long as you're honest with stuff like that, it makes a big difference. And you see.
Yeah. So if I lied to you and became a millionaire, once you found out I lied, I lose everything and have nothing. So why not be poor the whole time? Where you're going to end.
You could even... I can't say that because I don't want to get canceled. I was going to literally name a celebrity that would probably sue us. But you could see it in certain foam shoes that came out that everyone hyped. And then like the whole fashion brand was like supposed to be like trashy clothing. And this stuff like is selling. Like it looks like somebody ran it over
Champion
with a dump
is expensive now.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
And you see this stuff.
It's the same thing.
And it's like... I don't get the hype, but when you convince mass audience that this is worth this and this is selling at this, it's almost like a brainwash technique. That's why I like how incorporated you guys are with not even just like SHOT Show or Knife Trade or anything. None of these big shows. I've seen you guys at markets like Jedburgh Market. Like
we'll go to
like
200 people show up and we're there hanging out.
Well, a lot of those markets are the ones that we first started at when we still had jobs. So it's like when they reach out and they're like, I have a market in 3 months, we're like, I'm there, of course.
Yes. And I think that's cool. I almost think that's your putting your face in front of your franchise there is if you can get yourself and your brand and you in front of people, they will love it.
Well, another like community we're up against is the preppers. We brush up against a lot of stuff having knives, and it's like a lot of these preppers are like stack ammo, stack guns, stack freeze-dried foods. I'm going to stack a dozen friends, and we're going to come take it all from you because you're being an asshole in the neighborhood, and we don't like you no more because you're just you're just sitting in your house watching TV while we rebuild the community.
So when the world ends, we're just going to start a gang. Gang violence.
It's going to just be rebuilding.
The scrap table does not promote gang violence.
No, it doesn't.
I almost said yes, but
But you can become a pirate.
Ramone's
radio.
not on this show to back me.
You can do a pirate radio when the world falls, and we have to do that.
Dude, when the world falls, I'm just gonna sit out back and cook a big old brisket.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm gonna wait for you to come take my stuff. I'm just kidding.
No, you come to the farm. You're welcome to the farm.
Yeah.
Was
there really anything? I'm trying to see where we could take this. You guys brought some knives to show. Do you want to show some knives while we have a little bit of time?
Yeah, we figured we showed this one a little bit at the beginning. The Warlord Gremlin is the biggest gremlin. 13 Systems drew us this artwork, and I was like, dude, that knife is way too big. Let's make it. And so we made 13 special of them. I figured you would enjoy.
That's cool. Your guys' packaging has definitely improved a lot since the last time I bought something from you guys.
For sure.
Yeah, with all the collaborations, people, you make a lot of friends and you start hanging out and learning trades, passing secrets.
I was gonna ask what purpose this knife would serve, but I don't think that's suitable for.
It's like a bushwhacker, When I was walking,
clear brush with it.
When I was looking for the deer that I shot this year, I had one of these on me, and I was just going through the deer run,
getting the brush.
Yeah, exactly. They're short, so I'm just chopping away low and to make it through. Or if you wanted to like overthrow a small country, you could use that as like a symbol. To rally behind.
Do you guys still work with was it Flying Shark?
Yeah, we work with him all the time. I don't have a set of his scales with me today, unfortunately, but this is a similar one to his work. This is from our friend Crosspeen Forge. He's made us 3 limited edition Marshalls.
Mm-hmm.
Where he does the handle work.
Yeah, he did all the handle work. We put his logo on here, and I mean that's a gorgeous one that a little bit more intricate, like Flying Shark would do.
That's what I love about y'all's knives. I love when I see the collaborations and then you laser etch one logo on one side and your logo on the other. It's like a unique, I don't know, experience.
Yeah, everyone's got to be included. Some of these companies will do collaborations where they make 2 things the same color and that's the only similarity. And it's like, I'm gonna slap your logo on here. We've got collab logos with a bigger car company coming. They sent us like 2 wrenches as
Tesla,
crossbones.
right?
No.
Okay.
No.
They kind of got
like
a
local race, not local, but Florida racing company. But it'll come out soon.
But we do actually we got a garage sale coming up or something like that where we're gonna post we do have a fanny pack of each of our last drop colors saved from Head On Tactical and a bunch of other stuff that just we didn't release it because we didn't necessarily it wasn't perfect. So it's going to be like a second Splem sale coming and then leftovers of a few other things that we just were like, let's hold on to these for whatever
just
reason.
Inventory sake.
We're just trying to sell now, but the Head On Tactical fanny packs where we get the stitch slinger. So Doodles by Derry drew our logo and his wife embroiders all of our patches and our fanny packs, and Head On Tactical designs, cuts out, and stitches all of these by hand. So it's 4 American, small businesses all in one product.
That's amazing.
So that's something that's, everything has to be together.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. Y'all's business incorporates it's supporting one another. That same $500 getting passed around. Like you support me and they support them, and it all comes back full circle.
And even if it's not directly like one of these companies we're working with paying us directly, it's like they'll share it, and then that we get a different community, a different reach to a different person, and maybe make a sale or just make another follower to continue that cycle of
in our world there's a lot of non-monetary gains. Like there's a lot of with collaborations and partnerships, and there's a lot of things you can weigh and outweigh and go, hey, putting money aside, how can we work together? How can we benefit each other? What's the cost? Where can we offset stuff? Like I said, me and you, I needed something for my reel. You guys were like, hey, we can make you this knife in exchange of payment. And I'm like, okay, cool. It worked out for me. I got a really great piece. You guys got your video. And I think that's what's really cool is when you get down to small businesses, you get back to that trade and barter system.
Yeah.
You get some, now don't get me wrong. Cash is king. Money is king for us. This is how we pay our bills.
Yeah. We can't escape.
But when you work I can contest to this a lot. Most of my support comes from other small businesses.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
my startup,
Yes.
like all my, like I'm not landing your corporate jobs, your big companies. I'm not getting their commercial work. I'm getting small scale companies. I'm getting commercials like, and I'm still getting paid the same, but this is where my market is. Where can I help you guys out for the value, and you guys can in return help me out?
It's like a camaraderie sense. It's like we're all in the same trench.
Yep.
But our trench is slightly different because we're not paid by the corporations. We've got to go dig our own trench, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Then just let the IRS eat us.
yeah. But it's just, I definitely feel that we get a lot of small business. Like we probably only, we've gotten very close to a lot of small businesses, and we're almost probably, I'd just say, friends with small businesses at this point. We have other friends who don't run businesses, of course, but like
I think that's where like most of my support comes from, and I think that's where those friendships and like our friendship and we bond over this. Like, like you said, we're all in the same trench, and I think that's like for me it was really cool. It was mind blowing when we met. It was like, bro, we like quit literally on the same day. We didn't even know. It was like 3 months later. Yeah, I think
you messaged me to come pick something up and came over, and we're just like, I just quit my job, and I was like, that's really funny you said that, because
so did I.
I just got home from quitting my job. But
it's funny how that works out.
Yeah, small world.
But now look where you guys are. Y'all are crushing it.
Well, this studio's crazy. I mean,
oh, this ain't mine.
Yeah,
this is Jordan Costello Studios. Shout out. Thanks for sponsoring the show.
Well, hey, we don't own the farm. We're not.
Yeah, exactly.
I think some people definitely think like we own this farm and we have all this money. It's like there is no money.
Yeah, we're just lucky to be there.
Oh yeah. And like I told y'all earlier, I know from y'all's personality, it's like it wasn't a cut because I'm the same way. It's like I put more into my business than I do my savings.
Yeah.
And
yes, absolutely.
It sucks. It's a terrifying lifestyle, but I feel like it's necessary if you want to succeed.
You got to keep the ship sailing. It can't sink. Yeah.
Another major reference here on this show is about jumping in and drowning. And, and then the stumbles. Have you guys ever started a business before this?
I kind of helped my previous boss start his business. He was one employee, and he was a logistics transportation broker.
Okay.
So I was his second employee. I was like his right hand, and I had to learn how to do everything with him. So I was kind of close to the same thing.
And you actually created a different system than everyone else was operating under because...
Yeah, I had to create our entire tracking system and everything because we would like find truck drivers to deliver things for different big companies.
That's cool. So you kind of had like some ground up experience of getting to see what it takes. And I think for me to say this, I don't want to be rude to them, but you kind of got to see that experience and help that growth without risking your money. So that's like invaluable experience right there.
True.
Kinda.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Was this your first business venture here?
Yeah, I mean, I worked an hourly job at a bike shop, and then they opened another shop that I was the lead technician for, so I got to open a whole tech center, and then we moved to Seattle where we went to a failing, and they actually got to the point where they were sending people in because they didn't believe that my numbers were real. I was turning their shit show around so much.
We're probably going to have to edit this out.
Yeah, sorry if I can't say that.
No worries. They're a big company. They might like drop the hammer on us.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I don't think. I mean, it's up to you. You can totally cut it out. I mean, the bike shop I worked for didn't believe me, and they suck now. So
I always wonder about the rules with this. All right, let's go to hard reset. All right, so we're back here at the Wizard Forge after our interrupted podcast. But yeah, I think y'all's stories are so cool to me. I was excited. Y'all were one of the first people I had reached out to. I know y'all were out of town. I think the last taping.
No, I think it was either out of town
it was
or
last
dead
minute.
Sick.
It was right after Patton passed away, like the weekend.
That's
okay.
Right. Yeah.
I know it was very last minute, but you guys are kind of been like one of my close friends over the last few years of me full-time doing this. And then I just know y'all's story's so unique, and I can't think of anyone else, one, in this business industry, two, living the lifestyle and committing the time into it, and then just three, being authentic. Like, you guys aren't doing this to make money. I know everyone's doing it to make money, but it's not it's a passion.
You're
It's-
100%
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yes, it's a real, like, you guys care about your quality, you care about your customers, you care about being face to face and delivering stuff. I'm telling you right now, if you made me a knife and I was like, hey, Daniel, my blade chipped, you would make me a whole new knife. Like, it wouldn't even be like
Absolutely.
yeah, were you hitting rocks with
Yeah.
it? Like, were you
Yeah.
cutting steel? Like, there would never, ever be any question of quality. And I'm not saying you guys offer lifetime warranties. Don't.
We do. Absolutely. Yeah.
okay.
If you have an issue, I just sent off an axe that I was working on for a while we were moving, and I was supposed to make it a smooth handle, and I did it our textured tactical handle on accident. I just dry erase board got erased. I wrote the notes up wrong, so I made a mistake. I'm gonna redo his whole thing for him and
That's
take back,
cool.
sell what I already made him, and remake him a new thing the way he wanted it. It's like absolutely, we'll do. Community is what it takes, and it's like
Yep.
that's my job. So it's like that's what you're here for. You do not have to buy a $500 axe.
Yeah.
You chose to, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Also, thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
Here's another weight. No, I'm kidding. If it makes you feel better about the weighting thing, we brought up John's splatter paint mags and made him talk about it.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
put him really hard on the spot on that one.
Yeah, that's longer than I had to wait for sure. Anyone I've had to make wait.
Yeah, dude, he had the community wanting to burn him down over those.
Yeah.
Well, people need to relax. I mean, I don't know if I maybe shouldn't say this, but it's just
No,
these
you
are
should.
these are luxury items that people do not need to survive. It is not first aid. So I just think like, you don't need this right now.
And it's
gonna
handmade.
be okay. Like you will survive. There are people dying. You
Functional
know?
art, you got to wait for
So-
the art
Like,
part.
not exaggerating, it was 20 hours a knife.
Yeah.
Like,
It
not
was-
exaggerating.
It's definitely gone. I mean, it averages down now because we do so much streamlining, and
Mm-hmm.
I like. I'm there's 40 steps to each knife. I'm doing one step at a time to 150 knives.
Yeah, it's systematic now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the things you grow as a business owner and in your process. And like you said, you've developed process other companies, and there's just things you learn. How can you maximize time,
Yeah,
efficiency,
exactly.
and
Yes.
I want to be working as little as possible because I do it all the time.
yes, that's the goal.
Yeah.
But when you find out when you're an entrepreneur, that doesn't exist.
No. Yeah.
There's no
time
such
off.
thing as a day off, even from Christmas to New Year's while you're stranded.
Yeah.
At our last out of town market, we had a nice 3 hours waiting at an Italian restaurant for pizza, and that was a nice break. But I think that was the last break we got. That was November or something. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm glad you guys came on today. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're gonna
good.
wrap it up. Is there anything I missed?
I don't think so.
I can get all
Oh,
you guys'
okay.
social media and stuff.
We'll always
and
come back
post
if
it
you
on the
want.
video, dude. All the time.
Yeah.
We were just talking like we just need to open this thing up to like a 3-hour discussion.
Yeah, I'm always down.
Maybe we'll talk about UFOs
I'm a yapper.
next time.
Yeah, we don't have
Are
to
you
just
into
talk
aliens?
about knives. I'll
We
be
can
into
talk about
anything.
whatever you want.
Aliens, AI. That's a big topic here. Aliens is such a hot seller right now because everyone.
I don't like them AI robots running around like the guns, the dogs. I don't. If you want to
Gotta
get
take
into
a
it, those Boston dogs with guns, we need to get that out of
Those
here.
exist.
Oh my dude, I got guns on drones now that fly. Like China has drones that fly through the woods, so you can set a storm, set an altitude parameter, pick a location, and they'll fly through bamboo, like zigzagging.
Wow.
So basically now anti-missiles or like bird shot, it's like they could potentially get to the point where they can dodge that shit. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss?
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not the worst thing we've said.
Okay, good. I'm just saying, like, China's got all sorts of drones. And we were talking about DJI earlier. They just disabled their GPS restrictions. So it used to be if you took off, you could not fly over an airport, military base, government building.
They took that off.
Only in the United States
Interesting.
because they're a Chinese company and they're toying with the fact they're banning TikTok, I'm guessing. It's like, but yeah, so now
dude, they were
now
talking
you
about,
can do things that would
they were talking
get
about banning
Homeland
DJI
Security
drones. That's probably
on
going to
you.
come next. They've been fighting that because
years.
as a filmmaker, we use drones and stuff too. And I have drone pilots and like
Yeah.
so many people I know. Dude, that's $4,000
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
some of those. What we use on our films for lower. That's a
Yeah.
lower end drone.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that are just like so upset about this.
Yeah.
Well, and we were looking into like laser manufacturers for our engraving and whatnot. And one thing about the drones is like, it's 100%, not 100%, but there's a 100% chance that there's Chinese only parts in there, like parts you can
Oh,
only
yeah.
get from China. So it's like, as soon as they start banning this stuff,
So there's a
It's
company,
gonna get
I don't
real
know their
heavy.
name and I don't want to plug them because I have no affiliation with them, but there is a company that is taking the DJI Mavic 3 Pro drones, reshelling them and pulling out the chips and reselling them. They're like, they paint them too. They're like a dark green and everything.
That's crazy.
I came across them, but it's like twice the money of what you would pay for it to make them American
Okay.
allowed.
drones.
Yeah.
But again, also in our world, once you get, when you start flying like cinema cameras, you're not using DJI products. Now, I don't know about the flight instruments that go into some of those like Octo drones with like the 8 props, and I'm not a drone pilot. I don't want to be a drone pilot, especially after all the banning and stuff like that.
I've seen too much Ukraine footage to like drones anymore.
I can barely run a regular camera, let alone, yeah. But thank you guys for coming on and making the last part the most interesting.
Good outro.
Next time we'll do a TED Talk, UFO Talk.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Thank you guys.